The Amazon rainforest is almost impossibly vast. It covers close to 2.1 million square miles, houses 1 in 10 known species on Earth, and generates massive weather systems that circulate across the globe. But that scale is shrinking rapidly. Roughly 20% of this ecosystem has already been cleared. If we maintain our current pace of deforestation, 27% of the Amazon will be completely wiped out within the next 10 years. It is easy to look at those numbers and assume that saving a 6 million square kilometer forest is a job strictly for global governments. But you have far more leverage than you think. Today, we are going to build and execute a 4-step personal protection plan you can start using right now. Systemic environmental change does not happen in a vacuum. It starts at the local, individual level by cutting off the financial demand that fuels the industries driving this destruction. Step number 1 is carefully auditing your plate. Cattle ranching is the single largest driver of habitat loss, occupying roughly 80% of deforested areas in the Brazilian Amazon. This destruction is driven heavily by real estate speculation. Land prices can spike up to tenfold once the trees are cleared, providing a massive financial incentive to deliberately slash and burn these areas to make room for cattle and crop expansion. Burning these millions of acres releases massive amounts of carbon dioxide directly into the atmosphere, eroding the forest's ability to act as a carbon sink and destabilizing our climate. What funds this cycle is global demand. Every time international markets purchase beef and soy sourced from these cleared lands, it pays speculators to burn more of it. We know cutting off that demand works. In 2006, a voluntary agreement called the Soy Moratorium successfully banned the conversion of Amazon forests into new soy plantations, which drastically reduced deforestation from that specific industry. You can apply that same pressure to the beef industry. Check where your meat comes from and look for suppliers that participate in the global and U.S. beef roundtables, which develop standards to prevent new ranches in high conservation forests. When you are at the grocery store, check the packaging. Look for specific certifications and transparency markers that guarantee the product is deforestation-free. By actively auditing what you buy for your household, you remove your money from the supply chain, stripping away the financial incentive for international land speculation. Step 2 is vetting your timber and paper products. To extract resources, poorly planned infrastructure, like the Trans-Amazonian Highway, is cut straight through deep, historically inaccessible parts of the rainforest. These new roads act exactly like open doors. They expose previously untouched ecosystems to illegal logging operations and unplanned agricultural settlements that tear down the surrounding trees. In the United States, a crucial piece of legislation called the Lacey Act prohibits illegal timber and timber products from entering the market. By ensuring the wood and paper you buy are certified, and by supporting the enforcement of legal trade rules, you help close the market to illegal loggers exploiting those infrastructure projects. Step 3 moves beyond consumer choices to direct action, offering financial or social support to frontline conservation zones and indigenous enterprises. The Amazon basin is home to over 300 indigenous groups. These communities possess precise, generations-old traditional knowledge that is vital for managing resources and ensuring the survival of the forest. One of the most effective ways to back them is through a model known as Project Finance for Permanence, a framework designed to permanently fund and manage protected areas. A major pillar of this framework is the ARPA program in Brazil. This initiative supports a network of parks covering 154 million acres, an area 50% larger than the U.S. National Park System. That model is expanding across borders. Initiatives like Heritage Colombia and Peru's Natural Legacy are locking down millions more acres of vulnerable forests and oceans. Taken together, these 3 programs now permanently protect 12% of the entire Amazon rainforest. Putting your resources behind these verified transboundary programs is the most effective way to secure a permanent future for the region's biodiversity. Step 4 is executing direct advocacy. We need to demand infrastructure reform and push for a target of zero net deforestation. The threat extends beyond the trees. Poorly sited hydropower dams disrupt critical river connectivity, blocking the migration routes of aquatic species like the pink river dolphin and threatening the communities that rely on those waters. You can help stop this by visiting an Environmental Conservation Action Center online and sending a targeted message directly to global leaders, asking them to prioritize sustainable infrastructure. Taking 5 minutes to send a message to policymakers is the necessary final step. It transforms your personal consumer audit into systemic, unavoidable political pressure. If you follow these steps, you have audited your food choices, vetted your wood products, supported the frontline communities, and executed direct advocacy. The impact of these actions extends far beyond South America. Each day, the trees release massive flying rivers of water vapor, pushing hundreds of billions of liters of moisture up into the atmosphere and dictating rainfall patterns thousands of kilometers away. The health of this living, breathing ecosystem is a primary stabilizer of the global climate. We rely on it to survive. Now that you have your plan, put it to work. Then, share this checklist and send this video to just one other person. If we multiply these efforts, we can cut off the demand and protect the Amazon for good.